G'day guys, just Rob again, doing another DVD Blu-ray update. What I've been watching style video for end of September, start of October thing. I don't know what you want to call it. Yeah, so I've got a few DVDs and I've also got a few Blu-rays, which I normally do. So let's get cracking. First one I got is actually a box set which I bought and really enjoyed. It's actually a film noir box set. It's got about sort of 9 sort of films all in their own little sort of very thin sort of case. Very nice sort of box to it. Only problem with the box is it's very sort of thin sort of cardboard, and it's already sort of starting to sort of fall apart. It's not very, I don't know if you can sort of see it, but it's very sort of, you know, falling apart, pretty much, pretty quick. Anyway, so I've got 9 films in here, which I've sort of managed to watch them all. So I might quickly just run through them, quick synopsis, I guess, of each one. Probably my favourite one, the very first one I watched, called The Killers, Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner. Essentially, the film sort of starts out sort of these two sort of heavy guys, sort of mob type guys, come into a cafe and they're trying to track down a man, and they sort of find we sort of find that the two men are they're there to sort of kill him, type thing, and so the cafe owner's trying to say, oh, I don't know where he is, trying to save his life, I guess, but they end up sort of finding him anyway, and sort of shooting him dead. And then the rest of the movie's similar, I suppose, to sort of the Citizen Kane movie sort of thing, where there's like the insurance guy, the dead guy took out like an insurance policy, and so the insurance guy is sort of on the track to sort of, as a bit of flashback, we sort of find out what sort of happened and why this guy was sort of killed, sort of thing. And but this is a very good film. I thought very nice sort of film noir, and a few twists and turns, and it's a great sort of story to that one. Next one I've got the set Double Indemnity, which is probably one of the most sort of famous film noir type movies. You've got what have we got here? Fred McNamara. He's sort of the main guy. He's sort of he's like an insurance salesman. He sort of goes to this guy's house to sort of to renew his life insurance policy, and actually, no, I think it's actually his car insurance or something, some insurance anyway. The guy's not there because his wife's there, and the main guy sort of falls in love with her, and well, they both fall in love with each other, I suppose, and they sort of decide to sort of kill off the husband and collect the insurance money type thing. This is really good film. Big Steal with Rob Mitchum and Jane Greer. This is another really good one. This is actually in colour. This is like a colorized version. This one, essentially, Rob Mitchum gets sort of framed for sort of stealing. I think it's like $300,000 or something. So he's sort of on the run, just try and track down the real person that stole it. So he's sort of chasing him, and then there's police or the other guys sort of chasing Rob Mitchum, and then Jane Greer gets sort of all mixed up with it. Bit of a sort of chase, sort of car chase style type movie, which I actually thought was really good, really nice sort of action scenes with this sort of car, sort of flying around corners, and I thought that was really cool. That's a really good one. We've got Crossfire, Robert Mitchum again. Essentially, it's about sort of 3 guys, and they come home from war, and sort of end up sort of meeting this guy in like I think it's like a pub or something, and they sort of go to the guy's house, and he sort of eventually the guy ends up being murdered or something. So another sort of flashback type movie where we sort of find out what actually happened to the guy and who was the one that actually sort of murdered him. Well, that was actually pretty good. Very sort of a bit of political stuff in there as well and stuff, but that's pretty good. Out of the Past, which is another one that I really enjoyed. Robert Mitchum again, and Jane Greer again. This is a really good one actually. Essentially, well, the movie sort of starts out. Robert Mitchum is working in he owns like a gas station, and very much like the A History of Violence movie. Very sort of kind of similar sort of premise to it. Robert Richardson's working at his gas station. This guy from his past sort of comes into town and sort of drags Robert Richardson back. To sort of face up to what sort of happened, I suppose, in his past. Essentially, in the past, Robert Richardson gets hired by a guy who his wife sort of run off with all this money, so he's sort of been hired to sort of track her down and bring her back. Which he sort of finds to be they both sort of fall in love with each other, and they decide to sort of run away together, and of course that doesn't work. I think she eventually goes back to her husband. I'm not sure how that happens exactly, but she ends up going back to her husband, and he sort of comes back. The husband sort of tracks him down, I suppose, and but that's a good one. The Blue Dahlia. The husband comes back from war and finds his wife sort of having an affair with another man. So he sort of storms out, and then later in the night she sort of gets killed. I think the police sort of think obviously it's going to be the husband. But yeah, that's a good one. With Victoria Lake, she's another sort of famous actress of the time. The Glass Key, which wasn't too bad. Very sort of political. Two men sort of running for office, and I think it's the son of one of the guys gets murdered. So they obviously think it's the guy in the opposing team type thing. That's pretty good. Going for Hire, another Victoria Lake movie. A guy he gets hired by this other guy to basically the guy's being blackmailed, so he hires this guy, Alan Ladd, to basically sort of kill the guy and to sort of get back this very important, I think it's like a manuscript or something like that. So he does it, he sort of goes and kills the guy, but the guy pays him in this sort of marked money, so he can't sort of spend any of the money, because whenever he tries to go to a shop, the shops know about this sort of stolen money. So he can't sort of buy anything. So the rest of the movie is sort of him just trying to track down the guy to, obviously get his money back or something. But that's a really good one. Really sort of film noir style. And last of all, one called Murder My Sweet, with Dick Powell. I think he's he's like a private eye, and essentially the guy comes into his his office, I suppose, and hires him to sort of because basically the guy that comes in, he's working for like a very rich family, and they've had like a jade necklace stolen. So he's sort of found out who stole it. He's sort of going in the middle of the night to pay these guys to sort of to buy back the necklace. And he basically wants the Dick Powell to sort of go with him as a bit of security, I suppose. And of course Dick Powell gets sort of knocked on the head and sort of wakes up and finds the guy dead next to him, sort of thing. And so he's then we sort of spend the rest of the movie, just trying to work out, what happened. This is actually pretty good. Lots of sort of twists and turns, and I thought I did sort of find it a bit confusing, I think, towards the end. But anyway, that's good. And that's definitely a great sort of box set. I think I got it for like $23, I think, just online, which I thought was total bargain, I suppose. But 9 films for that amount of money, so that's really good. So next we've got a couple of DVDs. No one's too sure about sort of including this one or not. It's called The Last Patrol. I did sort of show this in like a DVD pickup, which I did the other day. Starring Dolph Lundgren. Because I sort of thought this movie was going to be like a action style movie, and things blowing up and lots of gunfire and stuff like that. But it's not really like that at all. I think Dolph Lundgren only probably shoots a gun probably once or twice in the whole sort of movie. It's very odd and strange, very sort of sci-fi type movie. I'm not sure if I can explain what it's about either. I mean, so actually Dolph Lundgren, he's in the army, and I think he's sort of sent to like this sort of help sort of close down some of these sort of old army bases, I guess. You sort of clean up, I suppose. Basically, shut down, I suppose. So he sort of goes to do this, and basically while he's there, there's this big sort of earthquake. Basically the whole sort of world basically just collapses, I suppose, and except for this little island where he was, sort of thing. So him and a few other survivors, I guess, and it's yeah, very odd. I mean, you've got sort of him, and you've got some other sort of army people, and I think it must be near sort of Las Vegas or something, because there's like a couple there that sort of won, I don't know, $20,000 or $30,000. So they've got this big sort of bag, and they're on their way home, and this sort of happens. So they've got this big bowl of, big bag of money, and then you've got some weird sort of guy that you reckons he's like a doctor and a cook or something, but he can't cook, and he's not much of a doctor type thing, and we sort of find out later he's sort of wearing a wig or something, and sort of pretending to be someone else, I think, and then you've got like a dancer or a stripper, I suppose, and she's sort of there, running around in sort of high heels and short skirts, and sort of have this guy sort of walk into the settlement, and he sort of has these goats, and he's sort of selling goat milk, and I don't know, some sort of organism on his body or something. That's really very gross, and there's also a bit, there's like a prison there as well. One of the prisoners one of the prisoners has sort of taken over the prison and sort of in control, and sort of in control of the other prisoners, and they're sort of there drinking their own urine and stuff because they can't find enough water or something, and it's very odd. I can't really explain it. I did sort of enjoy it. It was very weird, and it's kind of sci-fi type thing, but it definitely wasn't much of a sort of an action, full stop, non-stop action type flick. But anyway, we'll keep going. This one sort of a bit of a blind buy, I suppose. I think I might have been looking up a film. I think it was at IMDb once, and this is sort of one of the ones that they sort of recommended or something like that. I just sort of random one I was sort of looking at and decided to get. It's called The Assassin Next Door, which I actually really quite enjoyed this one. It doesn't sort of get very good reviews online. Essentially, it's about sort of the main sort of character here, and she's sort of been trapped by the sort of the mob, I think, where she sort of has like her passport stolen off her. She sort of gets promised, once you kill this guy, we'll give you your passport back, and you can go back to your daughter, type thing. And there's also like another woman. She's sort of set up in like an apartment building, and there's like a woman next door, and her husband sort of beats her up and stuff. So it's basically about these sort of two women, and how they're sort of trying to get out of their current situation, I suppose, and sort of get it away from it type thing. Actually, this is actually a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I really much like the it sort of storyline to it, and it wasn't just all action packed. But yeah, definitely a great sort of film. I thought it was really good. Nice sort of acting, and nice, not a few nice action shots in it, and nice story, and yeah, so that's pretty good. Okay, so on to the Blu-rays now. The first one I got here is actually a film that I heard a lot of really good things about, so I've always sort of wanted to check it out, and I've just sort of waiting perhaps for the price to drop in a little bit before I got it. Yeah, it's just Coraline, if I can pronounce it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about it, so I wanted to give it a bit of a look. Obviously, yeah, I didn't think it was all that sort of good though. Like, it wasn't necessarily, it didn't sort of blow me away. Like, perhaps I had sort of perhaps higher expectations, I guess, of it. Moving into like a new house with her mother and father, and she sort of finds like a little magic sort of door, type thing, and very much like an Alice in Wonderland type thing, I guess. So she sort of goes to the door, and on the other side, she meets like kind of like a parallel universe, I guess, where her mother and father are sort of there, but they're a different sort of version, and they're a lot sort of different to her real parents, I guess, and they're a lot sort of bit more, give her a lot more attention, and sort of a lot more sort of nicer to her, I guess, and so she really likes being in this side of the door, because her parents are a lot nicer to her. So that's basically the sort of premise to it. Yeah, I mean, it was very, as I said before, very sort of Alice in Wonderland, and a bit of, Pan's Labyrinth in there, and I think some even reckon it's a bit of sort of Beetlejuice in there as well, which I never really thought about, but I suppose there's some sort of similarities to it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a bad film, I guess. I just wasn't necessarily blown away by it. Great sort of, had some really nice sort of artwork to it, and great sort of scenery, and has some really nice sort of weird sort of camera angles still as well, which I actually quite enjoyed. I just yeah, I don't know, I just didn't find it all that interesting though. Really, I mean, some of the Coraline was a bit she was a bit of an annoying brat, I suppose, a bit annoying, and some of the supposedly sort of weird characters I didn't sort of think was necessarily all that interesting. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I might perhaps give it another watch or two or something, and perhaps get a bit better opinion of it. But yeah, I didn't think it was all that fantastic, to be honest. I'm sure a lot of people might disagree with me on that, but anyway, all I got here is actually probably a bit better example, I think, of stop animation. One I sort of picked up recently. I do have like a sort of a dodgy sort of DVD versions of these somewhere. But I decided to sort of pick up the Blu-ray. I think it was a fairly cheap price too. It's basically sort of the 4 sort of short stories of Wallace and Gromit, the 4 sort of adventures, I guess. They go for about half an hour each, I think. They've got the Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, Close Shave, and A Matter of Life and Death. There's also a movie out as well, I think, like the Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which I've watched. I should pick that up one day. This is great sort of. A lot of people perhaps already know it, but it's great sort of short story, great sort of adventures of Wallace and Gromit, I suppose. And first one's Grand Day Out. It's basically where they sort of run out of cheese, so they build Wallace builds like a rocket ship and sort of flies to the moon, so they can get cheese from there. It's really really sort of childlike and great animation and great sort of attention to details and lots of little tweaks, things sort of added in to make it sort of special type thing, I guess. That's definitely great sort of stop animation and great characters and just everything's great about it pretty much. So that's definitely worth a check out. Like last of all, I just thought I'd better include a bit of a horror one since it's sort of Halloween time again. One I sort of picked up recently. I haven't sort of watched this film for quite a few years, and I sort of actually managed to watch it last night. I got The Exorcist, the original Exorcist from 1973. I think I watched the 2000 edition, the version that you've never seen, as they call it. With I think it's I think it's about 12 minutes, I think, of extra footage. It's a really good film. Obviously, a lot of people already know that, I suppose, but I really enjoyed it. Great sort of old style, great sort of. This is a film basically because it's got great sort of camera work and great sort of cinematic shots and stuff, which they don't seem to make. They don't make films like this anymore. I think where it's just great shots and great attention to detail. And I don't know. For some reason, I don't think you sort of see that sort of stuff anymore. Great use of sort of shadows and pretty good. Actually, a pretty good transfer too. It's a very sort of grainy picture, which I don't mind a little bit of film grain. I think that's always adds to a film, I think. The great sort of close-ups of, I think got the Exorcist's hands. I think real close-up of his hands, and they're all sort of wrinkly, and they look really good on Blu-ray, I thought. A film that I sort of watched it last night. And I didn't sort of find it all that scary, to be honest, though. But I really did enjoy it, though. You sort of hear stories about people at the time in the theatres sort of having to sort of passed out and had to sort of call like the paramedics or something to come and revive them type thing and stuff. But I think I did also heard wasn't necessarily the scenes like the horror scenes, like the demon scenes or whatever. It wasn't that sort of stuff that scared. It was more the scenes where they sort of take the little girl, Linda Blair, the actor, that sort of take her to like a take her to the hospital so they can sort of do sort of find out what's sort of wrong with her. I think she's got some sort of brain tumor or something. So they do sort of shock treatment onto her and do all these sort of X-rays and jab her full of needles and stuff like that, which I thought was really horrific. I thought really old sort of clunky machines, X-ray machines, and really sort of notice they sort of turn up the sound for those too. All the X-ray machines sort of thumping away, and that was really sort of scary. I thought, well, not scary I suppose, but really sort of made you sort of squirm when you see it a bit. Linda Blair was the little girl, so. They need to obviously have something like a demon voice sort of thing, so they hired another actress. From what I've read, she's like a recovering alcoholic, but she drank like a bottle of whiskey and sort of chain smoked and yeah, to try and get a voice really sort of gravelly type things. Went through all this stuff to try and get a really good sort of sound out of a voice type thing, which I thought was actually quite interesting. But yeah, definitely a great sort of film, and I really like some of the extra scenes that they put in. I've watched like a bit of the kind of special feature on here about what they sort of put into the film. But yeah, it's definitely a great sort of film. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about it, and I don't need to sort of spend too much time talking about it. But I do remember a scene. I did watch this film a long time ago, and I do remember a scene where I think pretty sure one of the priests gets sort of zapped by lightning and sort of basically gets killed. I don't know if that's perhaps I'm thinking perhaps of a totally different film, but don't know. Might perhaps been it might have been a different film, or perhaps been part 2 or something like this. I don't know. Yeah, so that's sort of my horror one, I suppose, of my update. Yeah, so that's just a few things I sort of bought recently and sort of managed to watch. I was buying more stuff all the time. I should really need to try and slow down a bit, but it's very hard to slow down, especially when you find things pretty cheap, and there's a lot of really good bargains out there. So yeah, that's my update. Thanks for watching. Or leave some comments below, that'd be great. And yeah, just thanks for watching.